Greetings everyone, Agion here with another Relic replay. This time is a 2v2v2. Spawn on the middle side, we have GB600111 and his ally, I believe this is the ally, as the Magenta Empire. We have Carbine. Spawn on the south side as the Blue Empire. We have Vodoccanal and his teammate as the Red Soviet. We have CWedvin. Probably butchering that. And as the opponent, as the green allies, we have g00sa. And as the orange allies, we have garanjiru 35. So it's team bottom versus team middle, which... or no. It's not. Magenta and red are on a team. Okay. And green and orange together, so it looks like yellow and blue are on a team. Yellow immediately abandons the base because it would be a very messy game. I think usually it's supposed to be like team left versus team right versus team center, but in this case it was team center this direction. Oof. That's would have been very messy. So yellow is having a very delayed start, decides to pack up, go up north, can't expand down to the rivers, but will be exposed to the high ground. Blue has to be defensive for the time being. Does claim its oil derrick here, very nice. And we do got a couple wall segments while we do got the dojo core in the line here, creating a very messy situation. Red could block off the rest of that dojo core, allowing this dojo core to capture this oil derrick. Do got a tank buster. And it's going to be charging out a Imperial Warrior right here. And we'll get the slice off there with no repercussions. Very nice. Good mutual destruction there, which saves Tank Buster. So Blue's being quite successful in his aggression and will claim this oil derrick. Very nice. He does need the advantage because yellow had such a late start. However, orange is engaging red. We got Molotovs here. We'll clear out the garrison. Very nice. Green is here to support orange. Then because we got a whole bunch of garrisons here, it's just going to make it very, very problematic for anybody to assault in this area. So orange and green eyeing to be a bit more slow. Blue's eyeing for offense, the best defense, since his teammate has such a late start. And red here is sort of stuck. He can't rely on his teammate for support just yet because purple and blue are tingling out. So red is on his own. Yellow is on his own as well, which is actually good for him since of his late start. So right now it looks like team and red and magenta may actually lose this. Red has to be very, very defensive. We do have a Tesla turret being deployed on out, being body blocked by barracks. Very nice. Very, very good roll right there. But getting double hit by a Tesla Corus, and does have out a crusher crane that allows him to deploy out two structures at once, and using it to wall off the Tesla turret. Very nice. Red's barracks will go down. A nice little sell-off there. Red has held for the time being. Blue is being very successful in its aggression. Yellow has a good defense force, sending out a... oh no, just do this oil deck up here. This one's going to be claimed by green. This one is still up for grabs, so yellow has a position where he can start pushing up here and claim the expansion. Green designed the expansion as well. We do got a red Tesla core being destroyed on out, but does get cancelled there. Purple, however, going for a pretty sizable aggression here, forcing blue to fall back. When purple's on the back end, offense is the best defense. Oh, going for honorable discharge, 1 for 1 right there. Try and clean off that one there. Does not get the intercept. Is getting some nice zaps. Very nice. Oops. Maybe throw some Tesla troopers there. Supercharge it in order to get it. It also increases range, right? Supercharging of Tesla troopers, if it increases range, it really would throw off your opponent. It's just when you sort of have to play on defense. Yellow's also building some infrastructure here. It's probably a good idea just to make sure to help his opponent out, or his teammate out. A couple multi-gunner turrets here, still denying his old spawning location. So you could potentially, somebody could come over here and deploy the MCV or build a second MCV and start deploying stuff there. Nice little pick there, trying to fall back this guy. Does escape the javelin troop. And zap. We may see a sortie coming on in. Magenta definitely has the better air force. While Yellow does have a nice little defense force here. The bridge is still good. Nice little pick. Let's see, just various garrisons being crewed. He does have 2 oil derricks, so Yellow does have decent income, but he captured eye expanding. Blue hasn't expanded either. Green is expanding up north and has an oil derrick, at least one. Well, Blue does have the oil derrick here, but will be claimed by Magenta now. Red is being very defensive, has 3 refinery, 1 oil derrick. He is in range of building right there, so perhaps he's going to deploy out. Yep, he's deploying out some more multi-gun turrets and building out another refining location. Magenta's also expanding out to that spot there, so Magenta is eyeing to expand. Team left side is not really expanding out too much. They could be a bit more aggressive. Green, what is Green doing? Magenta's gaining some good harassments on Orange to support his red ally. Ooh! We got some V4, so Orange is going to get hit hard. Green will need to support his teammates sooner rather than later. I don't know what he's been deploying out. I think he's floating a lot of resources. Is throwing a Cryoblast, does get one of the V4s, but nothing to capitalize on killing it. Orange MCV has packed on up. This refinery is exposed to the V4s. Maybe the dispersion rockets would be better. Blue and yellow is going to be making their advance onto red. Magenta has to hold off these 2 players from hitting his teammate's backside as the other team is engaging red's front side. Red is sending all of his force back to deal with this aggression. He does have armored force engage these forces. It's a good counter. Single tsunami tank there. Does take out the ore collector. And also just Imperial warriors inside these garrisons. Does try to bait out some of those guys and try to jump away. We'll lose 1. We'll lose 2. In return, that's a lot of anti-aircraft, but doesn't take out any of them. Red is just focusing with artillery, has 5 V4 rockets. That's probably going to one-shot this ore refinery. Yes, it does. Well, that's a really dead Peacekeeper. Ooh, EMP rocket takes out and disables all of those V5s. That is a massive, massive loss. He does manage to save 2 of them, actually, but that's still a pretty sizable loss. He does use a Terror Drone to disable that aircraft carrier. He needs to hit it with some V5 rockets. Wait a second. Can't a hammerhead claim the weapon of a aircraft carrier? It spawns like it does send aircraft sorties, right? I'm not sure how many. But now I really want to see it. Garrison being cleaned out. Rocket, Bears pushing forward. It gets hit by his own V4, but the Bears will be able to clean up all those guys. Terror Drone does go down. And there is a airpad one on this guy here. And looks like just loiters around the hammer tank. Not sure what happens if it goes down. I'm sort of curious what happens. But it maintains a loiter. You can see it damage there. It does go down. Will the new one ever get respawned? Or is that just a one-time use? Because it looked like it didn't take a weapon slot. It looked like it just simply just loitered around. Interesting. Yeah, it has not been replaced, so it's just a one-time free drone, like it was Generals. Magenta's making a massive assault here onto this location. There's a number of defenses in the area, but it looks like that aircraft carrier may go down. You got hydrofoil, not hydrofoil, but riptide, and well, there's a hydrofoil there. You could potentially take out all this infrastructure right there. Tsunami takes out pushing their way through. It does take out the multi-gun turret and some of the riptides. Down south, Red Space is not going to be under siege. No anti-aircraft. Does take out the Crusher crane there, so Red Space is in peril. Down south, we do got a handful of Imperial Warriors somehow right there. He does say this refining location is a bit wounded. Replacing the Crusher crane, which will repair the ore collector, which it looks like it's in damaged state, but I don't think it's slow enough in the complete damaged state where it slows down. Onward discharge, very nice, but it does get a Terror Drone in return. Red has solidified the center of the bottom map, getting another ore refinery. Yellow and blue have not made any aggressions yet up to this one here. Maybe just trying to avoid the ire and just try to focus on the team center or mid. Magenta has a good sortie of Jet Tengus. Tsunami tanks now making their advance into the blue dojo here, which will stop the build radius for the multi-gun turrets. But we'll claim one of them there. Getting hit and does have repairs here. There is a Tesla tower here, as well as a flak tower. Rebuilds the walls, maybe needs to double layer them. Orange doesn't have a whole lot of infrastructure remaining. Does have an MCV, has 3 refining locations, which is good. The central looks like a magenta design to claim this one. This one has been claimed for quite some time, but it's pretty close to opponent's base. Does go get another sortie through, and will likely take it out in the next run. Do got some chopper VXs in this group as well. Maybe drop them down. Oh, there goes all the point defense drones. But those multi-gun turrets, multi-gun IFVs, does get us some pretty good. Oh, trying to destroy them. Oh, that was very, very good quick reactions there. And they would like that bridge to remain destroyed as well. Starting to find and clean up these garrisons with single Imperial Warriors. That says tank professor in that one. Sleeper ambush has now pushed his way forward. Here comes Vindicator runs, getting some good hits there onto the V3s or V4s. Large sortie could potentially hit these aircraft carriers. Black hole armor has been activated. EMP missile straight into the Red's location. Does get a nice EMP missile on all those hammer tanks, but there's still tank busters here to protect the V4s. Wave Force artillery and King Oni has been deployed on out. Got the Emperor's Wrath or Revenge, I'm not sure which one it is. Taking out all that infrastructure right there. So now it takes time to rush on in. There's a pair of hydrofoils here. Tsunami tank, the aircraft carrier does go down. Tsunami tank's going to try to nano deflector out of there, but we'll run straight into the artillery strike. Only the heroic one remains. Red's currently claiming the central, or claiming up these ore refineries, but there's a massive army coming forward here. Red has to be reorganized towards that. He does have a good number of hammer tanks, a couple of them with some extra guns. Oh, he has to be very careful with this. Jet Tango's coming in to charge on in. Will collapse upon the artillery. Could hit those javelins. Hammerhead tanks are trying to focus down those King Onis, trying to get some free guns. We've got some dispersion rockets coming on in, and pretty good cash bounties coming on in as well. Most of the javelins are cleaned on up. Most of the good chunk of the Mega Tengus cleaned up as well. The rest of the infantry did get cleaned up with that volley. Oops, and needs to stop firing. I think he's forced firing the ground. With this Crusher Crane here, he has a lot of extra repair drones, which could come in handy. Red's MCVs pushed too far forward, can be hit now by artillery and the prism cannon of the Mirage tank. Cryogeddon does do a nice split there. This one still may be frozen, but he will escape it entirely. Chopping VXs do claim the Apollo as well. Over here, still no northern aggression. Both sides just have a decent defense force. That's a lot of hammerheads. With a couple of hammer tanks to go along, or terror drones to go along with it. Blue's going for a nice reconnaissance run, but we'll find 3 bears. Some Yari mini subs may see some suicide bombs. It gets a nice suicide bomb there, 2 for 1. Only gets 1 there. And going to take out the last of the hydrofoils. A couple, actually, there's a handful more there. These straits, this not even a strait, these river, it's hardly even a river. It's more closer to a lake because it's a giant circle. Not a whole lot of waterway for them to move through. So there are only going to be a limited number of ships before they're hitting each other. Looks like Magenta's going to be eyeing hitting north. We do got these King Onis and Mecha Tengus pushing the way forward. We do got a good number of hammer tanks. Another rocket run. Is it disperse or single target? It is disperse, getting good AoE damage. The V4s are being focused down. Another round of V4 rockets. Bull run charges coming on in. Great damage across the line, but he does use Emperor's Wrath. A cryo shot, a basic cryo shot has been deployed right there. He does get some King Oni guns. Got one here, none right there. He only has one King Oni gun at the moment. This one needs to get off the Leech Beam and go in the King Oni gun. Ooh, and the Venus get spotted and picked off. We do got some of these aircraft carriers come on in. Does bomb that Terror drone. Mirage tanks dealing a lot of damage to that MCV. The MCV does go down. He does have at least one Crusher Crane, as well as a War Factory. Speaking about Crusher Crane, it is in the bombing range of the aircraft carrier. We got some of Red's Okuro subs there, taking out some of those hydrofoils. Still pretty good Air Force coming up on Magenta. Hasn't deployed any heavy assets themselves. None of these players can deploy out a heavy weapon, or else both teams will gang up on them. I hear balloon bombs. Yep, balloon bombs are being dropped on top of that multi-gun turret, which will soak up enough damage for the Striker vehicles to come forward. As a elite for the Tier 3 naval dock, if that goes down, you can no longer deploy any heavy assets from that. Perhaps he needed some sea wings for anti-aircraft. Looks like a sleeper ambush has been called on in. Doesn't get that last one, it gets unfrozen right there. And it's fully heroic, it's going to do a lot of damage. Not as much as I expected. Magenta's base in the center is starting to get cleaned on up. It does have very good air force there, including a good number of chopper VXs as well. Blue's air force has been completely decimated. There is a couple multi-gunner IFVs. Or multi-gunner turrets. He needs a multi-gunner IFV to support his teammate. So Blue may actually go down. However, Magenta is... has one refining location left. As long as he stays in the game, he can give his teammate additional protocol support. Ultra torpedoes. EMP missile does come forward. Freezing. Oh, EMPing the group of that. Does get some of these structures. Red's base is being cracked right there. Magenta has one refining location left right there, and that's it. This one has been cleaned up. This ore collector could be tied over here, but it's going to lose. Might as well just sell off both of these structures. Red's lost this location as well. Does he have a crusher crane over here? No, he can't crush those extra ore collectors. Doesn't even have an MCV anymore. He has a barracks. There goes the naval yard. No, he only has a barracks and a bunch of bears, and that's it. He has no crusher crane, no other production facility other than the barracks. He could just back out and give his infrastructure to his teammate, who still has an MCV to call on his protocols. Or is the MCV even there anymore? Yes, it's right here. Red should just back out of the game, give his infrastructure to Magenta. And those guys are our shields. And yep, they will get cleaned up by the terror drones. Magenta has 2 refining locations at the moment. Red's not rebuilding this one here. Could send one of these ore collectors over to the water. But that's like that, this location won't get cleaned up. Likely he's gonna go for the hydrofoils. Ooh, triple kill. Does take out that ore collector, the sleeper ambush. Number of... That's a lot of tank buzzers. And that's a lot of bears. He panicked and just... and sunk all of them. That's a lot of bears. He's using conscripts to clear out those tank busters. Molotovs do full damage to the pinned down tank busters. Here comes a final squadron. He, with the extra range for heroic, he's able to send out multiple sorties at once, and there goes that refinery. Ooh, splashing his bears a little bit. Get a hospital for your bears, man. Or a veterinary clinic. Good bombing run down the oil derrick. He has a couple of V4s remaining. What if you realize it's just not him trees? Dispersion rockets. Hopefully he has dispersion rockets. Nope. Nails one peacekeeper though. And we do got Natasha. Since he does have a battle lab, he can deploy out Natasha. Or yes, he still does. He does need some flak troops, that's for sure. He has plenty of anti-infantry. Oh, what happened to Yellow's base? Yellow's actually completely gone. I have not even realized that. My bad, I didn't see that. He didn't back out the game, so... Yellow's completely gone. This, okay, that was the last structure. And now blue's completely out. Now it's just orange and green versus magenta and red. Orange is not in a great position right now. Neither is red. Orange does have infrastructure production capability, and 4 refining locations. Green has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Though some of these are depleted. Magenta has a good amount of income as well, at least 3 refining locations, and can start expanding out down south. Final squad's been called in somewhere, not sure where. Oh, there it is. Great crowd shot there into surgical strike. Misses the crowd prison tanks. He's missing these prison mirage tanks completely. Does lose one of his V4s that are irreplaceable. Where's Natasha? Did Natasha go down to the surgical strike? I think so. does have a decent amount of terror drones as well. Red has hold held. Green, however, is streaming of a sizable force. I think Team Orange and Green are going to win this game. Magenta and Red just don't have an army to deal with this large force here. There is a fresh Natasha now out on the field. Here comes the Bears. Will overrun the infantry. Athena's shields will do anything for Athena's. Athena's actually going for Crush. Well, it's not really that successful. Here comes a Shogun battleship. It does clean up those Athena, so Orange's attack gets thwarted again, but Magenta is failing. Or falling, not failing. Can't really say fail, it's more just falling. Sure, he technically is a failure of staying alive, but that's a bit too harsh. I would just say falling, because sometimes you just lose. And I didn't have high expectations for Magenta or Red in this game, but I'm surprised it outlasted Blue and Yellow. While Green has just been able just to sit back this entire game. Orange was quite wounded this game, but not pushed out. Magenta's infrastructure is just now a single MCV. The Shogun battleships are an effective weapon, but are going to be hopelessly outclassed. Oh, and Natasha gets frozen. Natasha can be quite useful, but getting frozen like that's not a good idea. And that is a sniper multi-gunner IFV. Load up with a spy, I believe? And he's still able to track some of these guys. And takes out those guys one by one. Can't hit the terror drone. Good damage there. Shogun battleship getting hit quite extensively, and the Athena cannon will finish him off. Hydrofoil is getting some good damage there. Doesn't take it taken out though. Magenta's forces are gone. He has to deploy out a instant generator, but he's just done for. Sell off. Looks like he's, no, the Soviet player actually backed out. Just leaving Magenta and decides to do a mass sell-off. Yep. And that's game. This is Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.